everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Double Dog, back with a movie review. A recommended movie review. A recommended movie review from Eric Thomas. Thomas? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. But quite a while ago, he recommended that I do a movie review for a movie called Meet the Feebles. Meet the Feebles. And he recommended that you be drunk when you actually watch this movie. I took him up on it, and, well, I'm glad I was drunk when I watched this movie. My God, what can I say about Meet the Feebles? It's not what you expected at all. This, by far, hands down, is one of the weirdest frickin' movies I've seen in years, and it's a very old movie. Well, here it is. Check it out. For you, Eric, I did the review of the movie like you asked. Here it is, my review of Meet the Feebles.
The following movie review is rated R for retarded. In a world full of crime, corruption, and destruction, one man decides to review movies. This is Double Dog at the Movies.
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with a movie review recommended by Eric Thomas. Thomas? If I'm saying your last name wrong, I do apologize. It's spelled kind of unique. And this is my review of Meet the Feebles, also secretly known as Frogs of War, a 1989 dark comedy directed and produced by Peter Jackson. That's right, the guy that made Lord of the Rings made this. Apparently before he got famous with doing movies for Lord of the Rings, he was well known for making really bad comedy and horror movies. Honestly, it shocks me the fact that Peter Jackson made this. This movie was made on a budget of $750,000, a price tag that is insane for the time for this kind of movie. And it was a box office failure. It only made like $80,000 in the box office. Wow, I wonder why. Now, the overall basic synopsis of this movie is, this movie, Meet the Feebles, centers on a theater group called the Feebles as they try to get picked up for syndication for their television variety show. And as it goes on, it shows the trials and tribulations of these characters and how they're struggling with their past and their current vices in the fact of trying to survive as a well-known theater group. Honestly, the best way to describe this movie is if you take the Muppet Show and just add a bunch of drugs to it. That's really the best way to describe this movie. It's like the Muppet Show if it was actually like in downtown New York or Detroit with a bunch of struggling artists that have drug addictions and past history and health issues. And that's the weird thing about this. It's like taking Muppets and having them be super violent, super foul-mouthed. There's nudity in this. There's massive gore. There's sex. There's drugs. This, hands down, I can't believe got the rating it did, but considering it came out in 1989, that's kind of how it slipped through the cracks with a lot of the violence and gore that's in this movie. It's not what you would expect. You would think of this would be a little kids movie, and a lot of little kids did watch this, but this is not a little kids movie. I can understand why Eric said make sure you're drunk or high before you actually watch this, because yeah, you kind of need to be to actually be like the whole time you sit there going, what in the hell is this? Now, it's got all kinds of different characters that this movie focuses on throughout the adventure, including Trevor the Rat, which used to be a pornography director, but now he's directing the Feebles to get their stuff in order. He's the right-man hand of Bletch, I think his name is, the walrus, who is also in an adulterous relationship with a cat named Samantha, pretty much cheating on his lover Heidi, the hippo, who is the main singer of the Feebles. And there's also a second main star, Harry the Hare, but he's well known for having sex with just about anybody, to where he ends up getting so many diseases the doctor gives him 12 hours to live before he dies. dies. Now that's along with a lot of other weird characters, even including a long drawn out scene that apparently they didn't have the funding for originally, and all the creators of this movie kind of pitched in their own money to get it filmed. And that's where the term of the hidden meaning of the movie known as Frogs of War came from, where the one frog who's a knife thrower guy has this epic flashback of basically being in Vietnam, where he's going through trying to save his buddies, gets kidnapped by the Viet Cong, tortured, and his buddies pretty much get their legs cut off and eaten because they're frogs, so they ate their frogs' legs. And it's dark, it's graphic, this is super gory. I can't figure out who exactly this movie is even friggin' for. Now, as this movie actually progresses on, once the Feebles actually get famous enough to sign a contract with a TV chain for an ultimate primetime gig, at this point, Bletch thinks it's the best thing to come out and let Heidi, the main star, know that he's never really liked her. He's been using her for a voice and hates her, and plans to get rid of her and replacing her, giving the main role to Samantha the cat. This drives her insane to where first she tries to committing suicide, and she's not successful at committing suicide because the rope she's trying to hang herself on can't handle her weight of her hippo body, and it rips the chandelier out of the ceiling. So after she kind of calms down and eats a bunch of cake and everything, she decides she's going to get revenge on the Feebles and, of course, Bletch and the rest of the people she hates. So naturally, she goes and grabs an M60 machine gun and goes around and brutally murders most of the cast in a massively gory, graphic bloodbath of all kinds of explosions, shooting people in the face. There's blood and guts in this. She's like, basically, people are screaming for their lives. She's gunning them down, shooting their kneecaps out, just blasting them from shit to shinola. And it's just very shocking. It's very graphic. I mean, most of the movie is kind of odd, but, you got like elephants doing lines of cocaine and dying from it. Turns out to be borax, I believe. But it's just... it's such an odd movie. It's almost literally like a real world take on the corruption and the violence of a serious group as they're, putting on this show for like pretty much basically little kids. And like I said, when she goes on her murderous rampage with the M60, she doesn't slack down to anything. She's blasting everybody right in the face, right and left. People are screaming, "Please don't kill me, Heidi," and she's just blowing them away. She does not care. And in the end, she pretty much gets back to Bletch and, pretty much blows his brains out. Kills him, kills most of the people. And that's when the one guy who is like the choreographer or whatever, and tells her, it's like, "Listen, I know you're the number one singer, but we're kind of going to have to let you go since you killed everybody." So basically, at the end of this movie, there's only 6 survivors left in this bloodbath of her murdering everyone. And most of the people go on to live a normal life. Some of them go on to actually get, rehabilitation and surgery, and they're able to pretty much live the rest of their lives normally, while Heidi pretty much spends 10 years in prison, ends up getting out and underneath a witness relocation program, and works as a cashier at a supermarket. This movie, hands down, is foul, it's dirty, it's very, very violent, and the thing that's even weirder about this, with all the blood and guts and gore with these characters, is the fact that this was planned as a television series, and it became a movie after Japanese investors expanded the story. I personally can't figure this out. This just boggles my mind that Peter Jackson, the guy that made Lord of the Rings, made this. There's some other movies he made that are just as weird too, like Bad Taste. Honestly, hey Eric, if you're watching this, I want you to do a review on the movie Bad Taste. I want to flip the script and I want to flip it back onto you, my friend. I want you to do a review of Bad Taste. Just get a hold of me and we'll figure out a way of possibly I don't know, getting your footage or something. Maybe you can send it to me on your cell phone or something. But I want to see you do a review on Bad Taste. After me having to watch this, I think it's only fair that you have to do a review in return. Because, man, you know what I had to go through to watch this? I mean, don't get me wrong. The war scenes were actually pretty messed up, and it's funny, but it's not funny. It's so dark, sick, and twisted. I mean, you got inbreeding between like an elephant and a chicken, where they have this weird mutated baby that is half elephant, half chicken, and the mother gets her head blown off by Heidi, and her body's running around while her head's still there clucking, and then the father comes over and stumbles and crushes the mother's head in front of the baby that's just screaming bloody murder as Heidi's blowing everyone's brains out with this M60. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's violent, it's gory. I would not let anybody watch this movie. This movie ranks up there with, honestly, the Banana Splits movie in terms of WTF. Honestly, hands down, I can't believe that anyone made this movie for how gory and violent it was, especially in 1989. And I certainly can't believe, of all people, Peter Jackson actually made this movie. This, hands down, just absolutely, totally boggles my mind.
That's it, people. That's my review of Meet the Feebles. A movie where, hey, yeah, let's take the Muppet Show and get them all high on drugs and have them all murder each other in a big bloodbath. I want to thank you, Eric Thomas, for recommending this movie. Yeah, thank you so much. And the thing that bothers me about this movie is the fact that Peter Jackson made it and it's become a cult favorite over the years. I tell you what, it just boggles my mind. But in the end, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please leave in the comments below if you ever heard of the movie Meet the Feebles. Meet the Feebles. Meet the Feebles. Oh my God, Meet the Feebles. Why? I want to give a big thanks for Eric for recommending I review this movie. Hit the like icon if you like this video. Leave a comment below. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Meet the people.